do what he said, but do that for my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. And turn on the bell for post notification so you won't miss any of my shit when I post.
For more amazing videos every day. That being said, let's begin. Number 10. Fairly Odd Parents. Double Trouble.
Y'all start off with this. Y'all start with my classic. Why?
Timmy Turner is a neglected boy with a very active imagination.
Let me see some of the video quality. What is the quality on this video? I would try 1080, but I've been having internet issues recently. Trouble.
The show centers on the misadventures of Timmy and his flying magical godparents who grant his every wish. Cosmo and Wanda are loving godparents. However, their interference in Timmy's life usually goes wrong. It's not a far stretch to think that Timmy created them from his imagination because he doesn't get enough love, support, and guidance from his cold parents. But why are they so distant? Some superfans think Mr. and Mrs. Turner are wounded by a tragic past. There are subtle hints that Timmy wasn't the only child born to the family. Timmy may have had a twin sister. Here are the clues. In the episode Channel Chasers, we get a future look at Timmy's family, and he's got twins. Having fraternal twins is a hereditary trait, meaning his mom could have carried twins. If you listen carefully to the dialogue, you'll notice they call...
I got so many. Boy, I got so many questions about the future.
Timmy their only son, not necessarily their only child. Plus, look at how outrageously large his mom is in this flashback. There isn't a lot of material out there to cheer up bereft parents, and maybe creator Butch Hartman has used 16 seasons of the Fairly Odd Parents to help the people he cares about deal with loss. Number 9. The Rugrats are imaginary characters.
I should just click off this video right now in this whole YouTube thing and see y'all tomorrow. But I'm not gonna do that. Let's just continue.
This next theory makes more and more sense the longer you think about it. Rugrats centers on a group of babies that play together in their small neighborhood. We take for granted that all kinds of cartoon characters normally wouldn't talk. Animals, even cars, have personalities in the animated universe. But Rugrats is so low on cartoonish action and high on realism, it does stick out a little that the babies talk. The only kids big enough to talk are Angelica and Susie.
Hey, that makes sense. I'm gonna start getting YouTube Premium or something.
Susie, consider this. Angelica, clearly a troubled child, made the babies up in her mind for someone to talk to and terrorize. How is it Phil and Lil are both identical and fraternal twins? Maybe Angelica doesn't understand the biology and just roll with it. The Pickles, Tommy's family, is dysfunctional. The patriarch Stu compulsively builds toys in his basement. A plausible...
What, bro? I had a little chip crunch. Why are you judging me? Stop judging me. I'm kidding. Let's get back into it.
Obsession for a bereft dad. Same with Chucky's family. Chucky's dad, Chaz, is neurotic, and we know that Chucky's mom died in a car accident. Angelica's only real friend is Susie, who maybe tolerates her out of pity. Number 8. SpongeBob's hometown is the bomb. Bikini Bottom.
What goes on in this life, Sam?
Bottom is a tight-knit community at the bottom of the sea. It's home to SpongeBob, Patrick, and all the other crazy characters. One fan theory insists that this world is so crazy as a result of fallout.
I stopped watching after 2010, 2012, 13. I think that's when I stopped watching it. I haven't seen SpongeBob. I haven't watched other SpongeBob show in 3-4 years now. You know. So yeah, I stopped watching SpongeBob. I only watched SpongeBob for 99 to 2008 or 7, and that's it.
out from a nuclear explosion. The U.S. colonized a group of isolated islands in the Pacific Ocean called Bikini Atoll, anglicized to Bikini Atoll. In the 40s and 50s, the U.S. used these beautiful tropical islands to test bombs. 67.
You know, you be seeing that though. I've been seeing that, that happens, and the bomb be exploding when they show them SpongeBob. It'd be funny as hell, but I ain't know what that.
Nuclear weapons were detonated there. The name of their town is one coincidence. In fact, the scandalous skimpy swimwear, the bikini, was named to piggyback off the controversy of the bomb testing. The other commonality supporting this fan theory is the constant explosions and the specific familiar form they take. Explosions on SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, but the explosion is all funny as that, especially when the people get explosion, It's funny. I crack up laughing, but I know what's like this.
Look remarkably like the footage of the Bikini Atoll explosion. Sometimes this silly show makes such bleak points about work and life, it seems possible it could be a dark tribute. So did the radiation make all the characters so wacky? Maybe the pineapple symbolizes a fallout bunker. What do you think? Number 7. Toy Story 3 equals World War II.
Y'all ever seen when that Toy Story 3 comes on and this happens? Yeah, I've seen this happen.
Toy Story is a fun, lighthearted story about friends trapped together, owned by something massive.
Toy Story 2 is always my favorite. I just don't know why. I like Toy Story 1, I like Toy Story 3, but Toy Story 2 is just my favorite. I just don't know why. It's just one of my all-time favorites, Toy Story 2.
Compared to their size. The premise is already a little macabre. Before we talk about Toy Story 3, look back at the first two movies. They take place during the space race, and the changing times drives a conflict between Woody and the new guy, Buzz Lightyear. In the third installment, Andy's ready to go.
Yeah, y'all ever seen their first Toy Story? Woody never liked Buzz, because it was Andy's new toy. This is like when Andy was young. It was like 1997. So yeah, he never liked him at all. But then they started growing and became friends.
Go off to college, so the toys ponder their fate. Woody rallies the group and gives a speech which drama buffs can confirm is unusually similar to a scene in The Pianist, an award-winning Holocaust movie. Not a coincidence. After this, Buzz suggests they go hide up in the attic, a common place for old toys, but also the famed hiding place Anne Frank and her family spent years in while hiding from persecution. The story follows a clear Holocaust allegory. The world turns its back on the toys, and they're packed tightly together and carted off to a daycare. The daycare represents the concentration camps, a place where the toys are sent to die. The toys are neglected, abused, and even incinerated.
Oh man, I remember this always get me every time. I always seen it like when I first saw it, like, are they gonna die? This is gonna be the end of it, and then they all made it.
Once broken. That's dark enough, but there's a huge visual cue telling us to think deeper about what's going on. There's a world map in all three movies, with the map in the third version showing some unfamiliar borders. Knowing how many people work on animated films, especially Pixar films, the inconsistencies can't be an oversight. History buffs who have pondered the changes to maps between the sequels speculate there was a world war between 2 and 3. The similarities are too close to overlook. There are guards, privileged prisoners, all the horrors. The only major difference is the happy ending. In Toy Story 3, the gang is saved by the aliens, reunited with adult Andy, and adopted by a new home. Bonus theory, the ending isn't quite what it seems, and the toys didn't make it out of the incinerator. Maybe they perish, have one last spiritual encounter with Andy, and enter toy heaven. Number 6.
And now they got Toy Story 4. And now we got like a talking fork. What else is gonna come on now? What we gonna have now? We got a talking fork. We gonna have like a talking bottle, a talking deodorant, a talking phone, a talking rug, a talking TV. We don't know what to expect.
Ed, and Eddie, friends forever. Ed, and Eddie, along with the rest of their gang.
Y'all gonna hit me for this. I think you're gonna blow up my comment section. I never got into Ed, and Eddie. I'm sorry. But all my conversations if you got more. I'm sorry.
Explore every square inch of Peach Creek. Just some carefree friends playing for a seemingly endless summer, or lost souls thrown together to not
Lost
quite
souls.
suffer for eternity. You only have to watch an episode to know that these kids have less than perfect lives at home. But maybe there's deeper symbolism at play with this show. They might be dead in purgatory. Let's think about the evidence. Why are all of the main characters' tongues dark? Maybe it's not from candy dye, but the pallor of death.
Candy dye.
The show never leaves the cul-de-sac, and the summer vacation never ends, not even at the end of the seasons. Somehow, these kids seem to be from different eras. Ed is reclusive and loves monster movies, a total 50s kid. Now for the second Ed, Double D. He's plagued by endless post-it notes with chores to do from his parents. Not quite a torture, but not exactly paradise since he's never thanked by them. He never removes his hat. Could he have suffered a horrible accident?
Yeah, I've seen
or
that.
died
You know,
after
I've never watched, but I've seen it. I'm like, this dude never removes his hat. I'm like, wow.
unsuccessful chemotherapy treatment for his cancer made him bald? He loves technology, a total 80s kid. Eddie's brother tormented him, we find out at the end of the series. The only time they leave Peach Creek is the only time we meet him. Could this be that they left purgatory to visit hell? Number 5.
What about that Eddie?
King of the Hills paternity plot.
Oh boy.
This show about a quaint Texan dad and his neighbor buddies is chock full of slow burn jokes and smart references. Watch a few episodes and you can miss the truth about the neighbor boy Joseph Gribble. It's painfully obvious that John Redcorn, Nancy's longtime lover, is the real father. Obvious to everyone but Dale. At one point, conspiracy happy Dale rationalizes his son is so different because he's an alien. Whether we're laughing at Dale or taking pity on him, we are falling for the writer's misdirection. Just as Dale is oblivious about Joseph's parentage, audiences were slow to pick up on Bobby's real father. We all know Hank has a narrow urethra, but have you ever noticed that Bobby doesn't resemble Hank very much, physically or with his personality? How about the way Peggy gets annoyed whenever Bill's around? One time, Bill confesses he and Peggy were intimate in a moment of weakness, to which Hank replies, "No, you didn't, Bill." We laugh at Dale for being oblivious, while the writers are laughing at us. We knew creator Mike Judge was a genius when he created Beavis and Butthead, but sweet lady propane, did he ever get us with this one?
Beavis and Butthead is on, yo, I love Beavis and Butthead, bro. They kill me, man. I'm sorry. Beavis and Butthead, they both stupid. I feel like Beavis is more stupider. I don't know why.
Number 4. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is historically accurate, kinda. Audiences got more than they planned on watching this live-action cartoon hybrid. A silly romp about clear in the name of a lovable misfit quickly turns into an allegory for institutionalized racism. The parallels between Toontown and America's dark segregationist history are undeniable. When you watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit as a child, it hurts to see humans hate cartoons. Toons, they call them, and you understand that's a slur. Judge Doom executes cartoons at will. Older kids might understand that's lynching. Watch as an adult and you understand the whole premise is about systemic racism. Judge Doom has nobody stopping him.
You know, when you're younger, you don't know anything. I know I don't know anything when I'm younger. I just watch it. But when you get older, you see what's going on. Like, I used to watch SpongeBob. I never seen SpongeBob funny. I never thought SpongeBob was funny. You watch it now, but you'll go back and watch the old SpongeBob. You die your ass out loud, you know. You get older and now it's funny. Like Tom and Jerry, when you watch Tom and Jerry, it wasn't funny. You just saw a cat being chasing a mouse around the house anyway. Well, then you look at it and then you see that violence and shit, and then you just crack up laughing. I know I do every time.
From dissolving guilty Toons in his dip, and his plan to dismantle the Toons trolley to build a highway for rich people is the pure lawful evil you can read about in human news today. Even our human protagonist, Eddie, wants to believe that the residents of Toontown he's friends with, like Roger, are...
What?
We're anesthesiologists, surgeons, emergency medicine, physicians, pain management
I don't want to hear
specialists.
none of my surgery until next Thursday. Yeah, I don't know. I've got surgery coming up next Thursday for my eye. Getting the fix. I might just be like, I'm taking probably a week hiatus off YouTube, maybe more, just to get better. You know, but I will be back and we'll be grinding harder than ever.
are some of the good
I know I
ones.
said
The
BB
fact that
twice.
Eddie struggles with his unnatural attraction to Jessica Rabbit makes this theory hit you like a pie in the face. Number
Damn.
3. Hey Arnold is a show about Helga.
What? Nah. Hey Arnold is a show by Helga. What time is it? It's 9:16 right now. What the hell is going on?
This one doesn't take much evidence to make you consider it could be true. As kids in the 90s, we took for granted Arnold being the protagonist. His name is in...
Hey, I'm a 2000s kid, but I always watch Hey Arnold from the 90s. So yeah, I know all about Hey Arnold. It's funny. When you watch it when you're young and you don't think it's funny, but now you watch it, shit, it's funny.
title. But who is actually saying that? It's always Helga. At first, Helga is the villain of the show, always bullying Arnold and calling him football head. Her unrequited love is the main constant throughout the show. Most shows with bullies rarely, if ever, show their home life and explain why they're bullies. Nelson from The Simpsons has a neglectful family. Roger from Doug has a neglectful family. The Fonz, say it with me, had a neglectful family. It's a repeated trope that her father calls her only the girl, and both favor her big sister, Olga. For just a bully, that's a lot of backstory. It's unhealthy to teach kids that when someone's mean to them, it's because they like you. This cartoon takes this idea on directly. Eventually, Helga did confess her true, intense, poorly directed feelings for Arnold. Number 2. Zazu is a traitor. If the line, "I've never seen a kind of beast with quite so little hair," is hinting at anything, along with a lot of Zazu's lines in not just the "I just can't wait to be king" number, but the entire film, it's that Zazu really does not like the idea of Simba being king. The most noteworthy line is, "If this is where the monarchy is headed, count me out, I won't hang about." It seems pretty clear that Zazu would willingly rebel against Simba if Simba were declared king. Because of this, some fans think Zazu may have worked with Scar, communicating off screen, and helped him pull off his plan to dispose of Mufasa and drive Simba out. Adding to the theory is that when Nala and Simba enter the elephant graveyard, Zazu comes to find them, but Scar was the only other one who knew where they would be. Number 1.
What is number 1? Hold on. Y'all ready to see number 1? Let's see what it is.
Inspector Gadget is a replacement for a deceased man. Some people think Inspector Gadget is more than just a cool robot policeman. Some people think he's actually the second Inspector. These theorists believe Inspector Gadget was built as a robotic replacement for a human inspector who lost his life on the job. But here's where things get more interesting. The original Inspector did not lose his life. He went missing, and upon finally returning home, horribly disfigured from the ordeals he experienced, he sees a robot living his life and snaps. He became Dr. Claw. Has this list changed the way you remember your favorite cartoons? Are you gonna...
I don't know. Between the Rugrats, Fairy Odd Parents, and the other show, what was the other show? Hey Arnold. I don't know what to tell you at this point. It's crazy, but anyways, finna get out of here now. You know, my birthday is this Sunday, so, send your boys up if you want to, but I heard that new Spider-Man movie just came out, the preview. Come out of the fall. I might check that out over the weekend for my birthday. Till then, I'm gone. Be safe. Love y'all. Peace.